Hello and welcome to Austin FC on the Football Manager 21 Beta. I'm Charlie, and in today's episode 7, for the first time we're going to enter the match screen. We're going to find out exactly what upgrades have been made for this beta version of Football Manager 21. Today's game is a friendly against Charleston Battery. We are over at the Patriots Point Soccer Complex, try and say that quickly, in gusty conditions. This will be our 7th friendly so far. We've actually got a bit of mileage in the players' legs. All started with a 1-1 draw against Nashville, a recent expansion club themselves. Dom Dwyer got the first goal in Austin FC history. Not competitive, that'll come when we get to the MLS itself. But Dwyer headed us in front on just after the hour. Nashville with a late equaliser to salvage a draw. We then played against Philadelphia at the Scottsdale Stadium and got ourselves our win, our first win, thanks to Dominguez, who is our designated player, one of our 2 designated players, the other of course being Dwyer himself. Bit of a worry that Paredes went down with an injury. Edwin Clifford also picked up a knock, but it was a win, and I'll always take a win. Then against LAFC, we had to salvage a late draw ourselves. Dom Dwyer with the goal off the bench. He came on to replace Andre Lima, who we started with. And that secured a draw over at Catalina High School in front of just over 4,000 fans. We then lost our first game, our first loss, tasted loss for the first time, against New England Revolution. Dave Romney, not quite fit in this one, had a bit of a reoccurrence of his injury, which was a bit of a worry for us because I think we're going to need him at the start of the season. So yeah, a first loss against New England, but then we got back in the winning column over DC United. Another tight game and another goal for Dom Dwyer, his 3rd of pre-season. He took over from Ben Feely, who we'd started. We also had Gaston Gonzalez on a trial. Did feature in this match, but as a foreign player, I'm struggling to fit him in. Our last pre-season friendly that we've just played was against San Diego. Rodney Redes with a goal on the half hour, but unfortunately we only came away with a draw. Again, good minutes for a lot of the players. Bakary Sagna especially has been playing quite a few games for us, and in midfield Junior Moreno has really been making that defensive midfield slot his own. Speaking of tactics, so let's have a quick look at the screen. We've got Dom Dwyer up front, as we said, 3 goals in pre-season so far. Dominguez and Redes should be providing the ammunition for him. Then we've got Villalba and Paredes in midfield, Moreno defensive midfield. It's probably our first choice midfield and attack there. Things go a bit downhill in defence because we've got Cesar Lopez at left back. Probably we prefer to play Romney there and Laurentowicz into the middle alongside Ashley Williams, but we're trying a few different things in pre-season. Bakary Sagna is on the right and Jonathan Klinsmann is in goal. The only change that I'm going to make, I think, is I'm going to bring on Fatai Aleshi. So we've signed him, and we're just going to pop him in midfield. Just going to check, are they the best suited for those roles? I'm looking at the star ratings just here. Aleshi we're going to put in the box-to-box role and move across Villalba. In terms of defence, I'm going to leave Romney on and then bring him off later on. He is lacking a bit of sharpness, just back from injury. So Charleston are what you call a lower league side, not an MLS side, and that's the important thing. So here you go. We've got our fitness test. Serginho has actually passed a fitness test. We're only 45 minutes. Well, he's on the bench. Other fixtures taking place: Atlanta United get a win, Orlando City with a draw. So this is the new screen here. It's a little bit more polished, a little bit more information. So this is basically your tactics screen applied just before a game. A little bit of a change here, because previously it was more of a team selection page, but obviously, as you can see, you can do all sorts in terms of the opposition and set pieces. There's also an opportunity here to change just tactically for this match only, not for the whole tactical approach going forward. I'm pretty happy with what we've got, actually. We're going to proceed to the match. 5 players are concerned, lacking tactical familiarity with the formation. That's why we go through pre-season. Bakary Sagna appears to disagree. Well, that's up to him, isn't it? And then, of course, we've got all the other player feedback just here. Some of it good, some of it bad. Good to see Dom Dwyer is one of our supporters. And there are 3 changes from our last game. I do like the graphics, I have to say. A bit of an improvement this year so far. I don't quite know whether the match engine will stand up for it. As always, my laptop is not the best. We often make a joke that it's like a helicopter on takeoff. It has been a bit slow today, which I'm going to attribute to another Windows update. They seem to roll these out every few days at the moment, and every time it means that the laptop is just catching up after it happens, which is lovely. But it's been a good pre-season so far, a very tight one. I don't know if you noticed, but no team, either ourselves or our opposition, have scored 2 goals in all that. So they've all been quite tight, quite tense. I partly attribute that to our familiarity, as you've just seen a lot of players feeling that we are not as familiar as we should be, which that's why we do pre-season, that's why I've got the friendlies, and that's why I'll probably try to fit in 1 or 2 additional friendlies before we start in Major League Soccer against Chicago. So this is the social media roundup. Everybody, I was going to say, Marvel Tapia, happy with me. Edwin Bradley, not so much. Romney doesn't have the reputation. What do you know? I do not think so. 56 likes, I don't think that's true. Here are the 2 sides. As you can see, no squad numbers for this one. We're all going with whatever shirt you are handed. We've got plenty on the bench, as have Charleston. Their manager, Mike Enhauser. And here, as I said, we are at the Patriots Point Soccer Complex. So this screen has obviously changed since last year. If I'm honest, I prefer last year's. I think it was a little bit simpler to follow. Here we have, of course, the gestures. I'm just going to highlight a few for you. So we can pump the fist, an underarm pumping of clenched fists intended to encourage. And I do want to encourage the boys. So this is your chance to impress me. Although Davey Arnu, our assistant, he recommends we should be winning this comfortably. Do you know what? I'm going to go with Davey. Everybody else, yeah, no reaction apart from a couple of players who are complacent. As long as they are not complacent when they get onto the field, that is more of a concern. Here we are. So I will just check the settings as always. We're going to go extended highlights for our first friendly game. We won't do this every game. We usually switch to key highlights quite early on, as I realise that videos are taking a little bit longer than they have done previously. So we are headed to the left. So I don't know if you can see that because my cursor sometimes disappears on videos, but we are putting our cursor on the left. That is the way I play the game. And we have a corner here. Charleston with it. It gets cleared by Dave Romney, who apparently is not good enough at this level. Oh, there you go. And it's a free kick conceded by Redes. Not what you want to see from one of our young players there. But the ball is cleared. Back it comes though. There we go. Holding him up nicely. And Klinsmann low down to make the save. So these are the screens that we have. We've got a match stats. We've got the dugout. And then the touchline tablet. Now the opportunities here to change what you want to see in the touchline tablet. We're looking at 2 formations, latest scores, Charleston stats, Austin stats, and match stats, although quite why you'd have match stats if you've already got it over there, not quite sure of that. We also can toggle our subs down so we can get more of a full screen. No idea what that one does. I don't know what that button does. And that's showing me that I've got battery, which is nice to know. Unless we're going to turn off the laptop, I don't know why that's relevant, but there you go. And here we go, Dominguez on the run. Ball over to Redes, he's going to cross this in. And it's a goal! Dominguez, there we have it, opening the scoring just shy of the half hour. No highlight, why no replay even, sorry, what's... replays are on. Replay events. Let's see what we've got ticked here. Non-ticked. Right, okay. I don't know why you do that. Let's have a look at goal lines and tights offsides. Disallowed goals. I don't really want to see disallowed goals, do you? Why not? Missed penalties. Everybody likes a missed penalty, don't they? Okay. So this is all part of the revamped match engine. Obviously, these are the different options that we have for the visual effects. I do have things on quite a fast pace, purely because it's good to get on with it. XG, does anybody really know about XG? Our XG is similar to our oppositions. They're a league lower than us, man. 0.1? Alright. See, this is why I don't trust stats, and nor do I fully understand what that mess on the left is there. I do prefer the graphics for the actual match. I think look better, but the bits I prefer last year's at first glance, if I'm honest. I'm pretty pleased with how things are going, to be honest, lads. Yeah, everybody pretty motivated. Now I'm going to quickly make a bit of a change. If I can do that, can I do that down here? That's Team Talks. Okay, I may be being a bit thick here. So let's just start the second half. Not sure where I should be looking for that. And what we'll do is, on about we'll give it 10 minutes, and then we will bring on a few other players just to give them some minutes. While we are off camera, I will do a bit more research. I thought I knew where that was, but clearly I don't. It happens. This is what streaming on YouTube's about. Learning things, discovering where you've gone wrong. That's pretty much how it works. As Charleston pick up a second yellow card, this time for Oddersoden. Klinsmann hoofing the ball clear. Let's see if we can get a foot on the ball. Somewhat under siege at the back. So we do have Ashley Williams on staff. So he is in defence at the moment. Former Welsh international, obviously big player with Swansea, Everton. Was it Everton? I think he was, wasn't he? And of course, earlier in his career, Stockport County, where I first saw him. We are into the second half here, so we are just going to pause the game, usual space bar, and then let's bring up the old tactics and subs screen. There we go. See, this is more like it, isn't it? It's exactly as we remember. So we're going to make a change in goal. Klinsmann coming off. I'm going to bring on Kenny Lopez, who was of course our draft pick in the Super Draft. So in defence, Dave Romney, I think his fitness has held up well, but we're going to bring on Laurentowicz, former Atlanta United man. Up front, let's give a run out to Andre Lima, who's actually better suited to the attacking forward role. Avalar is going to come on for Rodney Redes. I don't know if Serginho is the fittest at the moment, so I'm going to leave him out. However, James Valenzuela, I think, is going to get a run as a deep-lying playmaker. Is he? He's not brilliant at that, is he? He's not brilliant as a box-to-box either. Let's go with it. And those are my changes. So plenty happening at the moment. Just as we get into about the 63rd minute here, everything is looking fairly positive. The dugout is probably something a bit interesting. So this is an option to change your tactics on the fly, basically. So it's the idea that, you know, your assistant or a coach is coming up to you on the touchline and just asking you to make some changes there. As Bakary Sagna floats the ball forward. Is that going to be closed down? No, but Laurentowicz with some good control there. Avelar back to Moreno. Valenzuela. Andre Lima with the layoff. Aleshe to Avelar. The youngster involved there. Again, another draft pick, and it's well held by goalkeeper Lewis for Charleston. As you can see, actually, quite even there. 4 shots apiece. 3 on target for Charleston, and just 2 for ourselves. So XG has increased to 0.19. As there we go, big effort there from Charleston. Another shot, another one on target. I think I've already added the instruction work into the box. Avelar here to Dominguez, the goal scorer from the first half, and it's back to Lewis, who clears, thunders the ball clear there. Good clearance by him. And I think we'll just make a bit of a late substitution, give a couple of other players, if we can, a bit of a run out. So we're going to take off Dominguez for Serginho. Let's have a look at our defence. So we do have Edwin Clifford that could come on, I think, at right back. There we have him. He's in central midfield. Parades. Here we are. So just give them a run out, probably around 8 or 9 minutes when all told, due to extra time. This is another close game. So it looks like Clifford with the throw in here. Clearance up by Charleston, and he's in from behind, isn't he? Oh, it's a goal! Jesus Sabara. He put the goalkeeper down on the floor and just lobbed it over. Just a nice little chip there. Good play, but you expect better from Clifford, who's just come on. I mean, Kenny Lopez goes down early, we have to say, and it's a 1-1. It's a draw. Again, it's not really drawing much in terms of positivity. Avelar involved, Andre Lima. We've just got 3 minutes of added time. We're into the 92nd minute here. There's not much on, is there? It's a bit of a disappointing game, this one, but we've got a late corner from Lopez. Cleared out to Moreno. Back to Lopez. Moreno again. No, it's stolen by Perez. Not enough options ahead of him. And now Lewis in front. Oh, it's a good save by Kenny Lopez, though. Right on the right at the death, providing a good stop to divert the ball away for a corner. And it's Nelson over. It's a 1-1 draw here against Charleston. Disappointing, I have to say. And XG, they ended up with ended up with higher XG than us. I tell you, I'm going to aggressively, I think. Can I aggressively? No, I'm going to point the finger. That's what we're going to do. Demotivated. Well, you may be Bakary Sagna. If only you'd have been on the pitch, eh? There you go. Charleston Battery. A 1-1 draw in the first friendly that we've seen. So hopefully you saw something there on the match engine that you liked. If you didn't, do leave a comment. As always, if you have spotted any issues to report to Sports Interactive, get on the forums, do so. I've raised a couple myself of things, just little things that you've spotted that just need a little bit of attention. But that, I'm afraid to say, was our game today. A 1-1 draw with Charleston Battery. We'll continue our attempt to get our players fit. In fact, Atlanta winning by 5-0 in their game. Orlando turned it round and won 3-1. But the Las Vegas Lights overcame DC United. That just shows you. Could have been worse, couldn't it? Nashville, Minnesota, New England with wins. Sporting Canvas as well, as did the LA Galaxy and FC Dallas. So plenty of wins for MLS teams. San Jose, Seattle there. Only a draw for Columbus Crew. And Toronto played their own second team. I always worry about playing your second team, because if you beat a bunch of kids, then, well, so what? But if you lose, that's a lot worse. And Chicago getting the win over fellow MLS side Vancouver Whitecaps. We'll just quickly check. There we go. Austin denied by another late goal. It seemed to be a bit of a theme, and perhaps that's something that I can work on in bringing on some players late on just to firm things up. I might need to work on a tactic that just locks the door. A bit of a padlock tactic. I have used some of these before in the past. Just had something ready where you can just bring on a late substitute and sit them in defensive midfield, or even as an extra central defender if the mood takes you. So thank you for joining me again today. That was our first look at the match engine. That was my first proper look. As you could see, there was a lot to do with sorting out the settings and getting familiar with what we can look at, and all the upgrades, including the dugout. I think I like the dugout. I'm not a big fan of the tablet, but as with anything, we'll get used to it as the season goes ahead. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow.